Good evening, everyone. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued for parts of Bledsoe, Marion, and Sequatchie counties, and that's going to go in effect here for the next 45 minutes. I do want to know, and the reason why I'm coming on here is because this warning that just came out just seconds ago does have a tag on it, as you see right here. It does say tornado possible on it, and I'm going to kind of explain what that is and what I'm seeing here. It's not a major concern at the moment as far as any tornado is concerned, but what we're seeing here in the vicinity of Whitwell here, pretty close to where 283 and 28 meet, very close to the schools and up around Hardee's and all that there. There's a little bit of broad rotation here being seen on radar, which is why this severe thunderstorm warning has been issued with the tag of a possible tornado. So while there's not an imminent danger of a tornado, there is some broad circulation happening aloft, and that's what's helped prompted this warning. Now, the main threat with this will be strong straight line winds that could be upwards of 50 to 60 miles an hour. But reason why I'm showing you this velocity here is I am seeing a little bit of some very broad rotation happening aloft that could translate down. But at the moment, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning. But with that tag of a tornado possible. And I've been watching this thunderstorm here for about the past 5 to 10 minutes, and it's been trying to do some funky things. And in response, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for this cell as it basically moves right up Highway 28. So this thunderstorm here, containing the damaging wind potential, is moving right up Highway 28. So this is going over Whitwell now, and also Crossroads. This is also going to affect Cartwright. This is also going to affect Dunlap and Doss. So make sure you guys are away from windows. You don't have to take tornado precautions right now, but I would suggest getting to somewhere that's at least away from windows and all that and wait for this to pass. So the heaviest is pretty much right over Whitwell as we speak, and it's moving, as I said, right up 28, also heading up Alvin York Highway. So the eastern extent of this heaviest part of the severe thunderstorm is basically right over Crossroads Park, and the western end of this is right over Mount Olive. So this is going to go, as I said, right up the valley and move up towards the Dunlap area here within the next half hour. Again, this is moving northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So what I will do here real quick is give you a track here on this, and I'll zoom this out just a little bit so you can get kind of a look at this. And this is moving northeast at about 30. And again, this will be in Dunlap here just before 11 o'clock, at least around 11 o'clock, if not just a little bit before. Other communities also in line include Shirleyton there around 10:38, around 10:44 for Condra, 10:45 for Liberty, and Bryant and Sequatchie County there around 10:49. So the severe storm that we're watching, as I said, it's basically in the Whitwell area as we speak and is now moving into Crossroads. So make sure you guys are inside and at least away from windows until this passes. Now, there is also the possibility that this thunderstorm could produce a little bit of some pea-size hail, but it's not a major concern at the moment. But the main thing with this is the strong damaging wind potential. Now, let me tell you who's not in this severe thunderstorm warning. Pikeville, you're not involved in this at least right now, but this is heading your way if it holds together. Jasper, South Pittsburgh, Kimball, you're not in this. Monteagle, you're not in this. This is to your north and east. You don't have to worry about it. Again, the main areas that I'm talking about here are from Whitwell and Crossroads north up York Highway, East Valley Road, and 28 into Sequatchie County, and then also into the southwestern portions of Bledsoe County, which would include Lusk and Palo, as well as the Hendon area. So if you are in this orange shaped polygon, which is the severe thunderstorm warning, just make sure you are inside, away from windows, and just waiting this out until it passes. Again, let's check velocities here and see what we got on the update. Again, this is some pretty strong wind in here, moving right between Whitwell and Crossroads as we speak there, and we'll query that wind for you here. And it's showing, again, severe levels running at about 58, but at least what I'm seeing right now is around 50 on here. Now, when I use the other feature, the storm relative, it does show some wind the other direction going at about 20. So when you add that 50 and 20 together, that equals 70, of course. Now, that's not happening at the surface. That's happening 2,000 feet off the ground, but near the surface, that means 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts are possible in this thunderstorm, which is why we have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Now, there's still, as you see with this red and green kind of matching up here, basically right over Whitwell, there's still a little bit of broad rotation aloft, which is why this severe thunderstorm warning has that tag of tornado possible. At the moment, though, it is not tight enough to, or defined enough to really warrant a major tornadic concern. What this is more of a symbol of is this is more of a symbol of those downburst winds that can cause tree damage, that can cause power lines to fall, that kind of stuff. So this is really a pretty large wind maker, at least in this thunderstorm, as it moves right up the valley here. So again, just stay hunkered down in the Whitwell area, at least away from windows, for about another 10 minutes, and then this will be gone. Good thing here is it's moving at about 30 to 35 miles an hour, so it'll be a few minutes, but at least it won't take too long for it to get through there. It'll be about 5-10 minutes or so, then it's done. So next areas up there next in line here include the New Hope area, right around where that church is there, along the Sequatchie-Marion County line there on Alvin York Highway as that turns into East Valley Road in Sequatchie County. And in this road you see right in here that runs between 28 and 283, that's Condra Switch. So that's going to be the next zone that's going to be in line of this strong to severe thunderstorm. And it's moving due northeast. So as I said, it's moving basically right up 28. Again, also Liberty, Cartwright, where the Dollar General is there, up around Bryant and Doss, also in Sequatchie County. And eventually, within the next 15-20 minutes, this severe thunderstorm is going to be in Dunlap. Also, another strong thunderstorm is developing around Grootley Logger and up towards Savage Gulf and almost Beersheba, but that one is currently not being warned on. That's a non-severe storm up in eastern Grundy County, but stay advised up in there and just make sure that, at least you're inside in a good place, away from windows. Again, this is not going to impact any part of Hamilton County. This is going to stay to the west of Hamilton County. So those of you in Chattanooga and up towards Soddy Daisy, you're probably going to hear some thunder, especially around Soddy, but this is not going to affect you. This is going to stay a good deal west of you by a good bit. And again, Signal Mountain, the Sequatchie County side of Signal Mountain will probably be affected, but not the Hamilton County side. So if you're on the Hamilton County side of Signal, this is not going to be an issue for you. But from the Sequatchie County side of Signal into the valley, and also up atop around Fredonia, and even up towards parts of Cagle Mountain, this is going to be the area that will be affected. So pretty much most of Sequatchie County will get this thunderstorm in some varieties. Some will get it weaker than others. Some will get it stronger than others. Just want to point that out to you. And then in Bledsoe County, while it's not impacting Pikeville at the moment, this is heading your way if it holds together, so make sure you're on guard there. So it'll probably take about a good 30 minutes or so at least for it to get there, but if it can hold together, and that's a big if. But those of you around Lusk, Palo, Brockdale Mountain down to Hendon, stay on guard because you are in this severe thunderstorm warning polygon. And what you see here on the pink, that you see the purple, the pink, the dark red, that's a very heavy rain. That's where the damaging wind potential will be, and also the possibility there could be some pea-sized hail in there. Again, the hail's not the big thing with this. Again, you may see a pea-sized hailstone here or there, but it's not big. The main thing with this will be those strong wind gusts that could be upwards of 50 to 60 miles an hour in some areas. And there's also a lot of lightning in this. You can see how the lightning output has really increased over the last 10 to 20 minutes, and that's a sign that this thunderstorm is, in fact, has strengthened a little bit. Speaking of the wind mode, again, nothing really changed on the wind mode on this. Again, as I said, this is mostly a damaging wind maker. Still got a little bit of toward in a way, a little too close to each other there, but which would indicate some broad rotation aloft, which is kind of the part of the basis for the severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. But it's not anything really strong on that regard. But what this is a symbol of and a sign really of some strong wind gusts here as it moves right up 28 and right up Alvin York Highway. So basically, in other words, this is heading right up the valley. So again, some quick all clears here for you from this thunderstorm. Little Sequatchie, you're good. Haletown, you're good. You're kind of on the western end of the warning, but y'all are in good shape. Jasper, this is not an issue for you. Kimball, South Pitt, New Hope, y'all are good. up towards Monteagle, y'all are good as well. This is not affecting Grundy County. Now, we do have a strong thunderstorm up here around Beersheba that could produce some pea-sized hail, but that's nothing severe. Also, real quick, for those of you that may be following up around McMinnville, up towards Smithville, you got a strong thunderstorm, but that's currently non-severe at the moment. The only severe thunderstorm that we have in the entire area at this time is this one right here moving up the Sequatchie Valley at this moment. So basically from Whitwell and Crossroads, north and east, up towards the Cartwright area, and eventually up East Valley Road into Dunlap, around Cookie Jar, and also Lewis Chapel. These areas will be next in line for this strong to severe storm, with damaging wind being the primary threat. So, and I say it's going to be a loud thunderstorm. It's going to be a very loud one. Don't get too freaked out, but the good thing here is, at least at the moment, I'm not seeing any real indications of anything tornadic, even though there's a little bit of some broad rotation aloft. What that's doing, though, is that's allowing the thunderstorm to bring down a very strong downburst, and that's what's causing the wind to ramp up, the straight line wind, that is, to ramp up some at the surface, enough to where point you can hear the wind and all that. So as far as it's not a destructive storm, I want to point that out. This is not a destructive storm. It's not really a considerable one. It is an intense one, though, so it'll wake you up for sure as that moves up to the north and east, especially with the lightning and everything. So, again, as I said, make sure you're inside, at least away from windows, until this passes, specifically in the valley at this point, from Whitwell north and east into Dunlap, and eventually southern Bledsoe County as well. Again, Hamilton County, this is not going to be a threat for you. This is going to stay to your west, so anybody watching from Red Bank or Hickson or Saudi, this is not going to be an impact to you. Now, you may get some rain here in a little bit from a cell that's developed near Red Bank, but that's not going to be anything worrisome. Looks like another little heavy downpours formed in the vicinity of South Pitt and Bridgeport there, pretty close to Richard City and up into New Hope, but that is a non-severe downpour at this point. But just wanted to point that out, that another quick little downpour is developed there. Not in association with this severe storm, though, by the way. It's a totally separate little downpour from that. New wind update here. This has actually come down in intensity just a little bit, so that's some encouraging news. So some good news here. This wind mode has come down just a little bit, showing about 40 to 50. So that's encouraging. So that means this thunderstorm does seem to be collapsing. So that's a good sign, which means that it seems to be losing its strength a little bit. I should say. Now remember, thunderstorms can cycle. They can go through a cycle phase where right now it may be on a weakening trend as it is now, but it can ramp back up again in a few minutes if there's like a merger if there's a storm merger that happens or anything like that. So remember, thunderstorms can be pretty cyclic sometimes, and they can cycle up and down from weak to strong and all that. So hopefully this will stay on a weaker trend and we can get this warning canceled a little bit early. The warning, by the way, the severe thunderstorm warning expires in 30 minutes. So that's 11:15 Central Time that when this expires here on Saturday, May 23rd. So in case someone may accidentally stumble across this video a few days later because of Facebook's algorithm, the date on this is May 23rd. So just want to point that out real quick. Again, there is also, as I said, the possibility of a little bit of pea-sized hail. Again, that's not the main threat here. This is mostly a heavy downpour, lightning, gusty wind deal. And again, I haven't had the chance to look at MaxRot here to see if there's any kind of a spin. It's not showing anything really impressive. And yeah, I mean, there's been a little bit of a track here on this scale. And I'll remind you what this scale here is. I showed this product just the other day. What you look for on here on this rotation track is gray over here is very low, yellow is low, red is moderate, and the white over here is high. And thankfully it's been in the low category. As I said, it's been mostly a strong wind maker. There's been a little bit of dot of red here and there, but mostly though it's been low, so that's very encouraging. Again, as I said, just a good old-fashioned May thunderstorm with some strong gusty wind and Some very heavy rain. You will definitely hear it in Dunlap. I'll tell you, I know you folks in Whitwell, you've been hearing it for the last 10, 20 minutes or so, and same with Crossroads. And Dunlap, you're about to experience the same thing. Again, it's nothing to panic over, it's nothing to worry over, but just be prepared that things are going to get loud for a few minutes up in here along 28 and also moving across the 127 corridor as well. So Rankin Avenue up towards Walmart, up towards east of Cookie Jar and the Overlook, and all these areas up in here, even as far east as Lone Oak there on the mountain, as well as Lewis Chapel. Things are going to get noisy here within about the next 10 minutes or so. Again, this is moving northeast at 30, so it will last a little bit of time, but it's not going to last too terribly long. So probably no more than 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes at most. I mean, it'll seem long, but it'll be in and out fairly quickly, and that'll be it. I also want to say that we will have some additional pop-up showers and storms that may try to form during the night tonight, and of course during the day tomorrow, which is our Sunday, May 24th. But at the moment, those don't look anything impressive on severe levels, at least as far as what it's looking like, ahead of time. But again, we will continue basically every day have that chance for some more rain and thunderstorms at times on a scattered basis. Like I say, it's not going to rain every hour on the hour or every day, or it's not going to rain 100% of the time. But there will be some times where we'll have some rain and thunderstorms in the area, and some of those could be strong, and with those heavy downpours, lightning, and all that stuff. So just something to be aware of here over the next several days as this wet and unsettled pattern continues across our part of the country here. Again, a real quick update here also on the wind mode. As I said, this continues to weaken a little bit. Good. It's a pretty good punch of wind though. That's moving pretty much right up 28, and also East Valley Road there. Now transitioning from Marion County and into Sequatchie County, approaching the Highway 127 corridor. So that would be Taft Highway as you head up the mountain, and then once you get into Dunlap, that becomes Rankin Avenue. So that's going to be the zone where this moves up here shortly. Again, Cartwright's pretty much in the middle of this now. The Doss area is getting in on this as well. And next up will be, of course, the city of Dunlap, and out here towards Lewis Chapel Road and points west from there. Now the eastern extent of this heavy rain may try to slide as far east as Mowbray Mountain on the Hamilton County side. It may try to sneak over there a little bit, but I don't think you have much to worry about over here, though, at least on this scale. I think the heaviest part of this will miss you, but the eastern extent of that rain, at least the rain part, may end up clipping you or may go over you for a little bit. So again, Mowbray Mountain, you don't have anything to worry about, flat top, but don't be surprised if you hear a little bit of heavy rain, though, over the next several minutes or so out that way. And again, real quick, want to check on this one little thunderstorm that's passing northeast of Beersheba now. That's north of Savage Gulf and approaching the Highway 8 corridor, just west of the 111 junction there, where Van Buren, Sequatchie, Warren, and Grundy counties kind of all come together right there. That cell is going to be moving north into Van Buren County, so get ready for a pretty good downpour around Piney and over towards Baker Mountain Road, and eventually up into the Spencer and Fall Creek Falls areas. You're going to get a pretty good downpour and a good thunderstorm shortly. Also, some other thunderstorms exist across up towards Sparta, south of Smithville near Rock Island, moving north in that area. But again, in case anyone's tuning in, this is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have in the entire area that's in effect for northeastern Marion, Sequatchie, and southern Bledsoe counties. Again, the counties I just called out here are the only ones that have a warning in effect at this time, which is why I'm spending the majority of the time on this, is because it's the only severe storm in town at this point. Quick update on the wind mode, and we'll query some of that again here. As I said, showing 40 to 50, so I do believe at this point that this thunderstorm has fallen below severe levels and is on a slow but steady weakening trend. It's a loud one for sure. Going to have some torrential rain and a little bit and some lightning and thunder and the gusty winds, but I do feel like this thunderstorm is losing severe criteria at this point as it moves into Dunlap here. Again, warning's still going to be in effect for a little while longer here. It technically runs in effect until 11:15, so it's good to be precautionary in case it were to recycle again. But at the moment, no evidence of any tornadic activity at this time. No evidence of that. No evidence of any large hail. Might have a little bit of pea-sized hail, but that's not anything big. Won't be anything damaging. And again, just some heavy rain, thunder, lightning, and also those gusty winds. And again, as I look behind us to make sure nothing else is really trying to get going, not seeing anything else other than just some traditional pop-up showers, a few downpours. Got a good little hefty one that's over New Hope in the south side of Kimball, crossing the river from South Pittsburgh right now, moving back up into Jasper. But this cell here is non-severe. It's just a good soaker as it moves up 28 and eventually Griffith Highway and crosses I-24 here shortly. But again, other than that, nothing big with that at the moment. And the good thing here is that this radar is actually updating about every 3 minutes or so. So we're actually getting some good data in here as far as updates are concerned. It's not delayed every 5 to 10 minutes, thankfully. So that's a good sign. So we're getting some good real-time updates here. Again, we'll check the wind mode again. Again, no major change. As I said, that's a good thing. There's not been a major change, so it's kind of stayed consistent. Again, 40, 50. There may be an isolated gust up to 60 in here, which is why this warning's technically still in effect because, again, somebody in here may get a higher wind gust somehow, but at the moment it's looking more like 40 to 50. But even that, even 40 to 50 mile-an-hour wind, that can still, knock down some limbs, and can cause a little bit of isolated power disruption to some locations. But at the moment, it just doesn't really strike out to me as anything really, impressive, thankfully. Got another little quick downpour that's developed over Red Bank and on the east side of Walden, Signal Mountain area. But again, that one's non-severe at the moment. But that will be affecting up towards the Falling Water area and up around Mowbray Mountain and points west of Soddy Daisy. So you can get a good downpour there, but this is not in relation to the severe storm that's moving up into Sequatchie County right now. So I want to give some all clears here real quick. Whitwell, Crossroads, Griffith Creek, you're good. So I think it's safe to say that I believe it's, in my opinion here, my professional opinion here, I believe it's safe to say that we can take Marion County out of this. So if you're in Marion County, I know it's heavy up towards the Sequatchie County line, up towards Condor Switch Road and that area, but the severe part, in my opinion, is shifting now exclusively into Sequatchie County, basically, at this point. So this is now becoming more of a Sequatchie issue as opposed to a Marion at this point. And that in this latest radar scan pretty much confirmed that. So again, now the most strongest part of this thunderstorm is pretty much on the Sequatchie County side now. Again, moving right up 28, moving right up East Valley Road, and crossing over 127 as we speak. So Dunlap, things should start picking up here if they haven't fairly shortly. So you'll probably hear the rain starting to increase a little in intensity within a matter of seconds, if not just a few minutes of time. And then after this is going to cross 111. So if you know somebody that just happens to be traveling along 111 right now, just make sure they're aware that they got a strong thunderstorm with gusty winds and some very heavy downpours getting ready to cross over the highway. So really just be aware, kind of a travel advisory here. Just be aware of this from the Hamilton County line all the way up to Cagle. So pretty much this whole corridor here, just be aware that for any travelers that are out there, just be aware that you're going to run into a hefty thunderstorm that is currently warned on as being severe, but the wind mode at the moment does not support anything really substantial on the severe side of things. And what you look for here on velocity is the brighter the color here on here, the brighter the red is in this instance. When you see a brighter color, that's the gustier, the stronger the wind. Now, if you're looking for a severe wind gust, you have to look here at the top. I know this may be very small up here, but at the very top of the screen, the severe level gusts started about up here, where you get into these apricot or brown and all that up in here. That's where the more stronger wind is. Thankfully, though, this thunderstorm is currently running more on this end of the scale, so kind of this bright red to weakish shade of pink. So at least it is. So it's producing strong to gusty wind, but it's not producing anything, at least at the moment, anything damaging like it was just a little bit earlier, as it was in the Whitwell area. But at least so far, nothing really big with that. So let me go back to radar, so that way we get that back on there. Again, the heaviest part of the storm is at this point in Sequatchie County. So Marion County, you're good. So Whitwell Crossroads, Griffith Creek, Suck Creek, you're good. This is north of you now. I mean, you're probably still getting some rain and maybe a little bit of thunder and lightning, but you don't have anything to worry about with this anymore. This is a county north of you now. This is all in Sequatchie County now, and it'll be into Bledsoe County within about the next 20 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and put a quick little time projection on here. Haven't done that in a few minutes, so might as well. And I'll put this up here to about Lee Station. So this will be in Palo here in Bledsoe County around 11:15, about 11:20 in Lusk, and around 11:30 in Lee Station. So that again, that's for southern Bledsoe County here. Dunlap, it's pretty much on top of you right now. Brush Creek, it'll be there in a matter of minutes. And then down here to the south, also Center Point there, right there where East Valley Road intersects there with 127, where the church is out there on the hill. That's the area where the front part of this heaviest thunderstorm is moving over. And again, moving right up the highway here towards Elm Hill. That's where that exit is, to where you can get off 111 to East Valley and go up north into Bledsoe County, or go south back towards Marion County. And right about here, where you got Kelly Creek Road and all that, between 127 and East Valley, for those that are new to the area, that would be where the famous Cookie Jar Cafe is. So this is where this thunderstorm is tracking. So right up 127 through Rankin Avenue, the business district there of Dunlap, downtown, up through Walmart, points east, about as far east as Lewis Chapel. That's what this road is right here, where it goes south of 111. That's Lewis Chapel. And right about here, in the far southeastern tip of Bledsoe County, is the little community of Hendon. And that also includes Brayton. Now, Brayton, you're on the outside of this, and same with Lee Station and Pikeville. But this thunderstorm is heading your way, and if it holds together, you'll be impacted by that within the next half hour or so. So just to give you a quick little heads up there. Again, for those of you, I know I got several of you that also watch from Van Buren County. Again, you got a heavy, we'll just call it a heavy thunder shower that's crossing from Warren County into western Van Buren, west of 111. So heads up around Baker Mountain Road and towards Piney and up into the Spencer area. You got a heavy thunder shower moving in, but it's non-severe. Another little heavy area passing west of Sparta as well. And there has been an update to this severe thunderstorm warning. I know a part of it still technically includes Northeast Marion, but Marion, you're clear from this. So let me get you the latest update there on this warning that just came in. This expires here in 15 minutes until 11:15. Severe thunderstorm was located along a line extending from 12 miles south of Spencer to 12 miles northeast of Greeley Logger to near Dunlap to almost Signal Mountain, moving northeast at 30. Hazard is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and nickel-size hail, small hail. Resources radar indicated. Locations that are in the path of this include Dunlap, Cartwright, Lone Oak, Paleo, Old Cumberland, Cagle, and the North Chickamauga Creek Gorge. So those are the locations that are in the path of this. So that's the new warning information that just came in. As you kind of saw the polygon flash there, and a part of that was shrunk a little bit. So that was the latest new warning update as of 10:59. So basically right at 11 o'clock here on Saturday, May 23rd. So, and the good news also, the tornado possible tag was taken off this morning. So that's been erased. So as you see here, that has been erased. So earlier, when the warning was first issued, as the storm was in Whitwell, it had that tornado possible tag on it on the severe thunderstorm warning. As you see here, now that's been removed. So in other words, it's been downgraded. So great sign there. Again, this is mainly a wind deal. And even though it says 60 on there, which is the technical definition for a severe thunderstorm warning, looking at velocities here, it's just not impressive. In fact, that's actually come down a little bit more, now showing more at 30 to 40. So I do believe this warning will be allowed to expire, if not be canceled a little early, but at least be able to be expired right at 11:15 as scheduled. No later than that. I don't think it'll be extended any further as long as it continues to maintain the weak phase. But again, if you're in Dunlap, you're definitely hearing this heavy thunderstorm moving over you. Another good sign with this is the lightning is decreasing, so that's another sign that this thunderstorm has is losing its intensity a little bit. So really, at this point, this is just what I would call a gusty thunderstorm that has a little bit of gusty wind, the heavy rain, a little bit of thunder and lightning, just your average early summer like kind of storm here. I know we're in May, but we're in a summer like pattern here. So this is really resembling more of a summer thunderstorm as opposed to a spring thunderstorm. It's a little slower moving, not like real slow moving, but it's a little more slower movement. Wind shear in the atmosphere is not as strong, so when you don't have a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere, storms can't really move too fast like they would during the spring. So that's another reason why these are moving a little slower than what they normally would. But we're in that transition phase, basically. In other words, we're transitioning from the spring-like storms to more of the summer-type storms. These are slower moving, but they can dump a lot of rain. They can ramp, the wind can ramp up a little bit as well, and of course there's a lot of lightning with these. But thankfully, in this thunderstorm and the storms even up to the north, the lightning count has really decreased over the last 5 to 10 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, there is some occasional thunder and lightning with it, but at least as far as anything really severe, but at least at that moment, it's not anything impressive. Again, we got some other strong thunderstorms going on up here to the north. Want to check these out real quick. West of Sparta, west of Cookeville, those are moving north, but at the moment, those are non-severe at this time. McMinnville, you're on the backside of all the rain here. You got some rain to your north and west around Centertown, but that's not going to really be much of an impact. And again, here's this heavy thunderstorm that's crossing over Highway 8 and crossing over the Warren Van Buren County line into Van Buren County. So heads up around Baker Mountain Road. This is about to approach you. And also areas along and west of 111 heading up towards Spencer. Again, just a heavy thunderstorm with some lightning, some heavy rain, but nothing severe with that. And again, this storm here that continues to be warned on for about another 10 minutes, technically, as a severe thunderstorm warning. As you see here, very disorganized. I mean, and I can put on a loop and show you how it looked earlier when the warning was first issued. And you can see, and again, this was earlier, so I had this timed out around 10:30. This was around 10:30, about 30 minutes ago. This was around the time the warning was issued, and you can see how it quickly pulsed up as it moved right over Whitwell and Crossroads. And ever since that point, ever since it really crossed into Sequatchie County, that's when it started collapsing and has really gotten to the point now where it's just disorganized at this point as it moves up to 127 and East Valley Road. So I do believe 100% that this warning will be allowed to expire at regular time, and which is in 10 minutes at 11:15. So just be away from windows here at least for a little bit while longer in the Dunlap area, and for about another 5-10 minutes, and you'll be good to go there. Again, I know there's another downpour that's formed over the Jasper area just south to about Kimball and west of Whitwell, but that's non-severe at the moment. But that's also moving to the north and northeast, probably about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Also got some other some other rain showers, some other heavy downpours also across northwest Georgia. Haven't had to talk about you guys any at all because you haven't had much, but some rain moving into Ringgold, a little bit east of Somerville there, a little downpour there, a couple there, but these are currently nothing worrying. There's some other thunderstorms out west, but those won't affect us. Again, we're pretty much just going to have these on and off, waves of scattered showers and storms here on and off, at times during the night tonight. And you notice this is actually a perfect example, what you see on this overview here. This is actually a perfect example of what scattered looks like. You see here in the middle, like, let's say Decatur, Chat, Cleveland, Athens, Winchester, Deckard, you're not seeing anything. Or Scottsboro as well, you're not seeing anything. But in the middle, in between all that, just to your north, they're getting thunderstorms around, like Dunlap, and even down in Jasper and up towards the southwest of the Spencer area even. So this right here is actually a good example of what it can look like on a summer day where you have somebody that gets drenched, he gets a really good downpour, and then somebody a few miles away, just a few miles away at that, isn't getting anything. And that's just the type of pattern in the season that we are in now, is where every day there will be locations that get a good soaking, and then there will be locations no more than a few miles away that don't hardly get much. That's just the way it is this time of the year, and tonight is a perfect example of that. So all of Sequatchie County is pretty much getting rain at this point. And there's also another heavy downpour that's fired up there, probably on the outflow of this weakening storm, and that can happen sometimes when you have an outflow from a weakening storm. It can pop up another downpour thunderstorm ahead of that. But there's another one here southwest of Pikeville that's just north of Brockdale Mountain there. It's moving north towards Mount Crest, but at the moment that's not anything of severe note. And you can see it's a really tiny one, but when you get in the middle of that, it'll be heavy there for a couple minutes. And then there's the other thunderstorm that's moving up towards Spencer and the Highway 30 corridor, as well as 111. So be very careful out there if you happen to be out driving tonight. Just make sure you're being very careful. And again, checking the wind mode here. As I said, this continues to come down in intensity a really good bit. So the good news keeps flowing, as they say, as far as that's concerned. And again, we got about another, right now it's 11:08, at least on my clock, so we got about another 7 minutes on this, but as I said, I think I'll be able to sign off here right as this warning is let go here at 11:15. So we got about another 5-6 minutes on this warning. And again, I know it technically still includes the northeast end of Marion County, but as I said, Marion County, you're good. So this is moving away from you and not a big deal for you anymore. Again, this is all in Sequatchie County now, and this weakening thunderstorm is about to cross into Bledsoe here in a matter of minutes as it moves up 127 and East Valley Road and gets about to as far east as Hendon and down towards the Lewis Chapel area as well. And not quite Mowbray and Flat Top, but you are going to get a decent shower there momentarily. Again, checking on this quick hitting a downpour that's moving over Jasper and Little Sequatchie. That's non-severe, but that will move back up towards the Whitwell area in a little bit. But again, at the moment, that's nothing to worry about. And again, things are calming down for the moment across Grundy County and Franklin and Coffee County as well. Points west, things are a lot calmer out here. I will go into the future modeling here real quick before this warning expires. Again, as you see, that's outlined by this orange/yellow polygon you see on the map. That's the warning zone that continues for another 5 minutes. As we go through the next few hours, again, we'll see this first wave moving away. And then as we go in towards the overnight here, it may take a minute for this to load. It looks like we will enter into a little bit of a lull, actually, as we go for the next few hours after this first wave exits. So there's a pretty good chunk of the night that may actually be pretty good. And then again tomorrow, as we go into our Sunday here, I'll have to update this so I can get the full 18-hour loop on here. But As we go into our Sunday again, we're going to have more of these scattered rain showers and a few embedded thunderstorms on and off at times. Again, not an all day deal, but we will have times where we'll have some rain and thunderstorms in the area. And that'll be pretty much on and off, scattered in coverage through most of the day. So that's kind of a quick little glance of what tomorrow might look like. Now remember, models are not perfect, okay? It's not going to always be exact, and especially in this time of the year. When you have these scattered thunderstorms popping up. I mean, models are not perfect. They typically don't handle these, situations very well. And, it can be off. Sometimes it over convects the thunderstorms, kind of overestimates it. Sometimes it underestimates them. So, again, it's kind of a wait and see thing, but that's why the chances are there. Not only because of the stationary front that's nearby that's allowing all the moisture to keep pumping in, through this whole time. But also, we just have this on and off chances every day, and even at nighttime as well for these showers and storms. We're just in this unsettled pattern, and to be honest with you, it's going to stick around through at least the end of this next week. And I'm not ready to, because of this pattern and its wild ups and downs that it's had here a little bit, at least as far as determining rain and storm chances are concerned. I'm not really comfortable yet about releasing a forecast for next weekend because as we get into early June, because there's some differences there. For example, the long range Euro wants the rain and thunderstorm activity to kind of continue into early June to keep the chances high, that is. The other models, though, the other model, the GFS, the other long range model, actually has us clearing out next weekend, which would be good for activities that you have next weekend. But again, I'm not really sold on either solution right now. So once things come into a little bit of agreement here, once we get within the 5 day period, I'll have some better certainty on next weekend, because I know a lot of you have outdoor activities this time of the year, and I totally understand all that. And and that's just the way it is. As I said earlier tonight on the weather discussion, I totally understand a lot of you have, appointments, a lot of you have outdoor activities, events. There's a lot of outdoor events going on this time of the year, and I know timing is extremely important and all that, but unfortunately, this time of the year, it's just very hard to give an exact time. I mean, other than the traditional morning, afternoon, evening kind of thing, because of the randomness of which these thunderstorms pop. So that's just something to note of. Another update here, as I said, this thunderstorm, as I said about a few minutes ago, I mean, this severe thunderstorm that's being warned on at this point, I think we could just put an X over that warning. As you can see, it just continues to weaken, look more disorganized. I mean, don't get me wrong, Dunlap's getting a pretty good downpour, and some of you that live there that are watching are probably hearing it. But the good thing here is, as I check the updated wind velocity, there's just nothing that really sticks out to me. I mean, yeah, it's a little gusty in here, showing some 30, maybe up to 40, but nothing that screams severe to me anymore. So we got one more minute on this warning, and then you'll see it vanish on this screen. And I don't anticipate them extending this. Again, I'm not the one that issues the warnings. The National Weather Service issues the warnings, so that is not my call. But if it was my call, I would go ahead and cancel it just based off what I'm seeing here. So, again, we got one more minute technically. Again, this will go off the screen here in just a minute, but a pretty good thunderstorm here with some heavy rain, a little bit of lightning and thunder, some gusty wind that's going to be moving up into Bledsoe County. But at this point, as of 11:15 on Saturday, May 23rd, it is no longer severe, at least in my opinion here. So, again, we are right at 11:15, so this thing should be expired. And here's the official note that I just received here. You can see it on the screen here, but what I'll do is I'll read it out to you here. I can actually read it out to you on here. The The storms which prompted the warning have weakened below severe limits and no longer pose an immediate threat to life or property. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. However, heavy rain is still possible with these thunderstorms. So you just heard it there. This warning has now expired. Severe threats done completely, officially. So that's good. Again, I'll watch for a few more minutes here, off camera here to make sure nothing else flares up or anything like that. But in the meantime, if you don't hear anything else from me or anything like that for the rest of the night, no news is good news. So, with that said, those of you basically around the Sequatchie Valley, up around Sparta, Spencer, North, you got some heavy rain, some thunderstorm activity, but nothing severe out of this as of this minute. Of course, if that changes, I will let you know. So, hope you guys have a good and safe night, and I will see y'all soon with an update. If you don't hear me the rest of the night, I'll be back tomorrow morning with another update.